Mantracort developed the first wireless tilt sensor. And I think it's fair to say that Sherborne, together with Mantracort, was one of the first entries to the market with this very exciting new tool, which didn't use any cable to connect the data to any processing unit. Until now, we had a wide range of accessories which allowed to use the wireless transmission of the signal to a handheld device, which could connect to a multiple number of wireless tilt sensors. We had the standard solution with connecting to a PC and using the Mantracort Log 100 PC software. And also very excited, we had the analog out module from Mantracort, where we could use a demodulation of the wireless signal into an analog signal. And I don't know if you remember, in one of the earlier presentations, I have shown this picture here, which is a company in Spain which is doing lifting devices for commercial aircraft. And in this case, they are using wireless telemetric systems to measure the tilt angle of the aircraft. They had a high failure rate of the sensor because people ripped off the cable which were lying on the ground. And when we introduced to them the demodulation with digital to analog, they immediately purchased a number of sensors from that. But still, the signal is contained into the laboratory or wherever you have your data processing unit. Now, with the latest development from Mantracort, we are talking about monitoring data in the cloud. Technically, you can watch what your structure is doing from anywhere in the world. You can manipulate and store data in the cloud. And here are some figures which I have digged out about the future prediction of the wireless sensor market. And you see, of course, this is containing as well sensors from vibration, from pressure, temperature, etc. But the growth rate is very, very impressive. So with this extension of the cloud solution, I believe that we can be very successful in combination with our wireless telemetric system. And Steve is going to give us a bit more details of how this works. And hopefully at the end of the day, we have a solution which brings us back to the top of the list of preferred suppliers for inclination measurement with wireless sensors. So that was the short introduction. Stephen, you are the sales and marketing manager at Mantracort. And I would love to pass back to you the screen. I make you the presenter.
Thank you, Kuno. Yeah, I certainly don't want to take credit for any marketing. I am just the sales manager.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
That's fine. Unless I have a bump to the head, I may make a wake up tomorrow as the marketing manager, but certainly not today.
Well, I just looked up your profile on LinkedIn and took the picture. Sorry when I misinterpreted that. Okay, you are the presenter.
Thank you, Kuno. So as Kuno says, my name's Steve. So I work with Mantracort Electronics. A little background on myself. I spent 10 years as a mechanical engineer, providing support for the world's largest yachts around the world. I then decided that I needed a new challenge in my life, so I made the switch over to the dark side of electronics. So coming from a mechanical world is quite an uphill study period. But with that said, joining a company like Mantracort and working with the likes of Kuno from Sherborne, it's a great thing to do.
Just a little bit, Stephen. Sorry, I hate to interrupt you, but your screen is not showing.
No, that's fine. I'm going to show it now. Kuno, I believe that your screen is still sharing.
No, yours is sharing. And here it comes. There we go. Thank you, Stephen. Sorry for the interruption.
No problem at all. Okay, so to give you an introduction to sensor space, first we really have to look back at who Manticore are. So, who are Manticore? Well, like all good businesses, Manticore started in a garden shed in 1974 by David Wilmington, who is our now chairman, and his father, Bob Wilmington. Bob's background was as a sound recording engineer. David was an electronics engineer. The company was purchased as an off-the-shelf company for £100 back in 1974. It's a kind of unusual name. But early projects were burglar alarm systems and temperature controllers, which grew very quickly into industrial weighing instruments for processing, batching and alarming and control. And then during the 80s and 90s, this was our kind of bread and butter key market sector. This experience really led us into developing high precision instruments for OEM sensor manufacturers, both analog and digital, which then spread the industry sector, mixed into construction, lifting and crane, weighing, automotive, test and measurement, civil engineering, oil and gas, and so on. In the early 2000s, we began development of our innovative wireless telemetry range, which has had great success originally in the lifting and crane markets, but many other which we'll share later. We launched what we now know as the T24 system back in 2008. I've since continued to develop this product line, making improvements in 2015. So with those improvements, we doubled the range. We added more security into the software. We made big improvements on battery life as well as now adding a Bluetooth strain transmitter. So commercially, we took the step in 2010 to develop a load shackle specifically for the entertainment technology market and market it as its own company called Broadway, but powered by Manticore. We also set up an inventory base in North America in 2017. We knew that we needed to be quicker in getting product into engineers' hands, so we run an online shop there. We have about 3/4 of our stock that we make in the UK available in the US for small purchases, and then we now have an inventory base in the Netherlands in preparation for supply within Europe, kind of post-Brexit. So we're making a decision kind of between now and the end of March whether that's going to come live, but we've kind of been making all the preparations for that. So what we do, we're known for our intelligent hardware and then our feature-rich software. So we're known for field reliability, high quality measurements, low noise electronics, and then really easy to use toolkits for Windows, which Kuno knows we offer free software with all of our equipment. Everything is brandable if you need it to be. We also now have our B24 apps, which work on iOS and Android devices. And then we're also kind of with our 2021 development roadmap, almost looking at the new generation of all of our software as well. So this year specifically, we have a big assignment of budget for R&D and kind of refreshing everything that we have out there. So our facility, we're based in the UK, down in the southwest, in a small part of the world called Exeter. We on about 3,600 square feet manufacturing premises. We have state-of-the-art surface mount machines, which we invest in quite heavily. We have our own in-house automatic optical inspection and automatic testing equipment. We're certified to ISO 9001. So we have in-house hardware experience in the 2.4 gigahertz wireless protocols, Bluetooth low energy telemetry, low noise analog, and digital design. So we also have all the in-house tools to be able to do software design, drivers, so your DLLs, your web-based delivery IoT, LabVIEW, and embedded software. And we kind of specialize in field bus protocols, including Modbus, ASCII, and CAN as well. And then we also have a range of ATEX products that we produce. So some of our customers, other than Sherborne, just to give you a flavor of what we do, we primarily work with OEM equipment manufacturers, sensor manufacturers, test and measurement specialists, metrology and calibration houses, and standards labs. So for These customers, we offer a range of wireless sensors for multiple applications, fluid dispense systems, X and Y axis load pins, multiple open systems, multiple sensing systems, and primarily a car door ceiling gap measurement. So we've worked with all of these companies to provide a solution. So we let them source the sensor, we just come up with the conditioning parts of it. So really for a bit of an introduction on, before we get to sensor space, really, I have to take you through our T24 telemetry in case you have used it or in case you have. So if you do currently use it, I'm sorry to bore you, but I need to go through this. So really T24 in kind of bite-sized chunks, it's highly configurable for many different applications. It reduces the installation cost by not having to run cables, so therefore reducing labor. It's ideal for rotating machinery where cables can be damaged or in harsh environments. And it's also reusable and readdressable. So some industry examples that we work in are in the automotive world for torque and suspension setups of racing teams. We work a lot in the hydraulic weight area, aircraft weighing as well, and then construction measuring force. So just, like I said, a few bite-sized chunks of where T24 really shines. So our products, in a nutshell, the T24 range has an 800-meter range, line of sight, up to 5 years of battery life, depending on your resolution, your sample time, and your transmit time. We have a really wide range of sensor input types, ranging from strain to temperature, to current, to voltage, potentiometer, pulse, and running line as well. We have high integrity, error-free transmission data, low noise, high accuracy measurement electronics, and it's a really modular system. So a T24 system could be something really simple as one strain transmitter to one base station, and then running our logging software. And then you could expand from there. So in a nutshell, you have your sensor of choice. You then have one of our T24 transmitters. Then this runs into our sensor space, gateway, and platform. And then that is the deliverance of data up to sensor space cloud, which I will take you into more depth now. So remote management requirements. Really, we're looking at real-time data. We're looking at automated sharing across a business, looking into decision making, looking for keep equipment available and maintained at the right time. And we're looking at creating efficiencies to reduce cost. And this is why Sensor Space has been built to address all of these needs. So the key functions of Sensor Space, I've picked out some of the kind of like the highlights really of where we think our package really delivers. So for storage, I'll explain a bit more later in the presentation, but there's 3 years worth of data storage. When you get up to the 3 years, it works on a feed in, feed out method. Events, so there are a whole plethora of options you can choose to trigger events, and they can be from emails to text messages to webhooks to Slack messages. There is really powerful visualization within Sensor Space. There's great tools for analysis of the data that you have there, and then there is the ability to download all the data that is up within Sensor Space for further either visualization or for analysis kind of offline. So we'll have a look at a quick T24 and Sensor Space system setup. So it will show you a simple representation of the Manticore Sensor Space cloud system. We have 2 ways of gathering data from T24 transmitters. One is a standalone hardware device with up to 60 channels of input. The first version of this is an Ethernet connection up to the internet and therefore to the cloud. There is on the development roadmap to have a version with Wi-Fi and cellular. But as a workaround, what we've been doing recently, even though Sensor Space has only just been released, people are already asking for cellular gateways. What we found is that a client can take an Ethernet gateway of ours. They can then take a third-party 4G cellular modem and provide their own SIM card. They can hook the two together hey presto, you suddenly